War Dogs is based on a true story about two young men from Miami Beach, Florida, which starts when they reunite after not having been in contact with each other since high school. Miles Teller's character is a married man with a baby on the way who is going through a difficult patch in his life due to financial difficulties, and when his friend offers him a job at his company, which specializes in supplying the United States government with weapons for their troops in Afghanistan and Iraq, he decides to take a leap of faith and go for it. Starting out small in the beginning, they keep winning bigger and bigger contracts until they eventually get in over their heads and land a deal they will have difficulty fulfilling. Therefore, some drama and also some hijinks will ensue. The only thing I knew about this film before watching it was that it was getting okay-ish reviews and that it starred Jonah Hill, and for me that was enough. I'm a fan of the actor, I was convinced. And fortunately, my intuition was correct, and I wasn't disappointed in him. He is truly the driving force in this film. To put it simply, I think his character pretty much is very similar to the character he played in The Wolf of Wall Street. He is still basically this very vulgar, very sleazy, very arrogant hedonist who is not afraid to wander outside of the barrier of what is considered to be legal just to get an extra buck. And by extra buck, I mean hundreds of millions of dollars. And in the long run, he would absolutely have no trouble if he could just lay low and live the high life, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, this is the type of person who lets his ego get in the way too much, to the point where it causes unwarranted paranoia on his part. So yeah, he is a douchebag, but he is not an extreme douchebag. He is the type of douchebag who might mistreat you, but only when he considers that he has been mistreated by you first. And when he has a bigger gun than you, of course. But like I said, because of that slow descent into paranoia, what he might consider to be mistreatment and what a more mentally stable person might consider to be mistreatment are two different things completely. And on that note, I kind of had the same feeling towards the other characters as well. I really liked how this allegedly heavily fictionalized and dramatized take on this true story really managed to keep its characters feeling very human. Take the married couple, for example. I mean, Miles Teller's character is basically the good guy here. He's the reasonable one. He's the only one who basically seems to be doing this out of mostly altruistic reasons, like he wants to raise his kid, he wants to make his wife happy. And while she remains mostly the typical female character, like the spouse who disagrees, I thought the chemistry between the two of them worked really well, and it was a storyline that managed to add just the right amount of emotion and heart to the story without it feeling out of place or forced. And of course, I have to mention Bradley Cooper's character and performance, which is great. It's a very brief appearance, but it's a very important appearance. He basically plays this very shady guy these guys know they shouldn't be working with, but he's the one who of course makes them the offer they can't refuse. And I think he actually has a line in the film which sums up his character perfectly. It goes something along the lines like, I'm not a bad guy, but sometimes I have to figure out what a bad guy would do, and that's what I have to do. And it's great because he's the one who actually shows that this whole situation is not black and white at all. It's actually very gray. He's the one who actually adds a lot of gravity and a lot of danger to the situation. He is the type of person you know you shouldn't be working with, but you also know that if you play your cards right, he just might make it worth your while. Concerning the tone of the film, in similar fashion to The Wolf of Wall Street, I was actually quite surprised to see how they managed to juggle seriousness with humor. Like The Wolf of Wall Street, I was expecting it to be a much more lighter film than it actually is. Here it was the other way around. I was actually expecting them to play it straight and to present this story in a pretty straightforward fashion. But I was actually pleasantly surprised and entertained by the amount of foolishness they inject into this film. And without confusing your senses or creating a very incoherent tone, like some movies tend to do. The way they manage to do this is like they have intertitles between the sequences of the film, and each intertitle is a line which is going to be spoken by a character in the upcoming sequence, which can either be comedic, like something along the lines of, oh, well, that doesn't sound very legal, or something very serious, like if I would have wanted you dead, you'd be dead already. In the beginning I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but I don't really see the reason for it. But it does have a reason. The reason is it prepares you emotionally for what's to come. It's a nice little touch, in my opinion. So in a nutshell, that's it. I really enjoyed this film. It was quite the surprise. I was not expecting this to be as good as I think it is. It's not a masterpiece, of course. But if you enjoy these kind of like crime, drama, comedy type of films, like the type of films Martin Scorsese makes, and especially I'm referring to The Wolf of Wall Street, then you will enjoy this, I think. Jonah Hill knocks this out of the park, and so does the other actors as well. So yeah, thanks for watching my review. As always, I will see you later with other reviews. Until then, take care people, and goodbye.